after the game, it's the aftermath. Win or lose, we still wave our commander's flag. Riding with Wentz under center, making the pass. Jahan Dotson, young rookie, making a splash. That burgundy and gold, that's what we about. Jonathan Allen knocking QBs to the ground. We die hard and nobody can shut us down. Cause this is the greatest show in town. Let's go! Go, 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 go.
What's good, Watch the Commanders fans? All right, we're back at you with another episode of Watch the Commanders Aftermath, after the game. Watch the Commanders got back in the win column today. Lo and behold, because I really didn't have no faith in this game because of what has happened the last 3 games. But to watch the Commanders, I think they was feeling the heat. I think Ron Rivera, I think Jack Del Rio, I think they was getting a lot of heat from the media. They got a lot of heat from a lot of the internet, so to speak, or whatever the case might be, even for myself. I'm not the biggest fan of Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio at this point because of the way the team is for the last 3 years. Now, granted, Ron Rivera is a great man. To me, it's all about wins and losses. And if you ain't able to win, then you're not going to be able to sustain anything for a long period of time. But nevertheless, the Washington Commanders came on the road down to Georgia and played the Atlanta Falcons, who has been pretty good ball. This is a battle between Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder, 2 of the young quarterbacks that got drafted a few years ago. And a lot of us in the Commanders community wanted Desmond Ridder instead of Sam Howell. But nevertheless, we would have probably been pretty good with either quarterback, Desmond Ridder too. But this goes to show that the influence of Airbnb enemy on Sam Howell has progressed a lot. If you really sit back and think, for the most part, look at the Kansas City offense right now and look at our offense. Sam Howell numbers this season is better than Patrick Mahomes numbers. Now, granted, Patrick Mahomes don't have a lot of great weapons no more. There's a different play call over there, but they still have Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, and Patrick Mahomes. But a lot of us still complain about, Sam Howell taking a lot of sacks, which I'm, at this point in time, can't really say too much about it. He's going to work himself out and everything like that. The one thing that I noticed in this game that how aggressive that the Washington Commanders had become. They started becoming more aggressive. They started mixing up. Emmanuel Forbes did not play. He was actually benched in this game. And rightfully so, because he has not played well for the last few games. The Washington Commanders are coming off a 3-game losing streak, where they had a close win against Philadelphia, which a game they should have won. And then a blowout Thursday game against the Chicago Bears. Now, we didn't know what Washington Commanders team that was going to show up, but for the last few games, Washington has played pretty well against on the road than they have at home. So, Sam Howell didn't light the field up a little bit. I mean, he only had like 151 yards passing, but he did throw 3 touchdowns. He did make the plays that was necessary. He did do the things that he needed to do, but he still took 5 sacks. And something that he's going to have to really think about. He can't really sit there and constantly take these sacks and knowing that things are not it's going to work out. So with that being said, I still there's a lot of things in this Washington Commanders offense that need to be addressed a lot more. Now, I do want to touch on something. There's a situation going on with Charles Leno with his family. I haven't really dive into it too much. Just a lot of speculation. But he did not play today. And, oh gosh, I forgot who took his place because I just talked about him a few minutes ago. But nevertheless, he did play good. He did play very, 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 very well in Charles Leno's spot. But all in all, the running game still hasn't developed the way it's supposed to be. That leaves Sam Howell to throw a little bit more. There was a little bit of balance here and there. And they just took what the defense gave them, because Atlanta do have a pretty good defense. You know, you're not going to do too much on them. Terry got a lot of touches early on in the game. They try to get him. Now, I still don't see why Jahan is not getting in the mix like he's supposed to. I don't understand it. Terry had 81 yards. Curtis Samuel, he had another touchdown in the game. He was 4 for 4 targets, 4 receptions for 42 yards. Brian Robinson was 2 for 2. Also, he caught 25 and a touchdown. Antonio Gibson's caught a touchdown. So 2 of the running backs and a wide receiver caught touchdowns. Jahan only had 1 target this game. Army Brown 1 target. And Terry had 11 targets for 6 receptions for 81 yards. So he really didn't throw a whole lot. Like I said, Sam Howell only had 153 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the thing about it is he had a passing rating of 119. So he took what the defense gave him. He didn't really do too much. I think the Commanders kind of like stifled themselves a little bit. I think they could have had a chance to open up this game if they really wanted to. But I think they just play very, very sound offense. And the defense went to work. The defense for the Commanders went to work. They did the things that they needed to do, and it was very, very helpful for the offense. But was this game great? No. The Commanders held on to win. I mean, the Eagles did a lot of things. But at the same time, I mean, there's things that you like that the Commanders do. Some things that they still need to be improved on. A game that they must win. You know, Magic Johnson tweeted out about how this team played. He said, congratulations to the Commanders today, winning 24-16 versus the Falcons. Defense came up big today twice in today's win with 2 interceptions in the last 5 minutes of the game. One, Benjamin St. Jude's, that got the interception in the end zone, and then Jamin Davis for the diving interception that would seal the game. And then, I think, Fuller had the other one in the game. So, like I said, the defense for the Commanders played very well, but at the same time, you think they should have done a little bit better, a little bit where they needed to do the things that they supposed to do. Now, this is something they could build on. And you know what I'm saying? This is something that they can build on, that they can really, really could be a momentum. Now, as I talked about the offense side of the ball, I'm going to talk about the defense side of the ball. Also, before I move on, I did like what Chris Rodriguez brought into the game. He ran the ball a little bit, 4 carries for 21 yards. The longest was 13. So that goes to show. But they're going to have to find a way. The Commanders going to have to find a way to run the ball. They can't not rely on the pass and sit back and allow Sam Howell to take sacks. He had 29 going in the game. So he has 34 sacks on the season already. 34. I mean, that's unheard of. That's ridiculous right now. 34 sacks in 6 games? And he shouldn't be taking that many sacks. He should not take all them sacks that he's taking right now. And it's bad. But let me go to the defense side of the ball. The defense played very well. Special teams played very well. Jimmy Crowder had a big 61-yard punt return that set up a score for the Commanders also. So, Casey Barton, he did a little bit better. He had solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Cam Curl had another solid game again. He had 8 solo tackles Fuller, he had an INT, had 9 tackles. Jamin with a tackle and a sack. So he played. Jamin Davis had a really great game this game. He played lights out. I mean, he had 4 tackles, 1 interception, 1 sack, 1 pass defense. Jonathan Allen only had 5 tackles. St. Jude's, he had 5 tackles, 1 interception. Deron Payne 3. There wasn't much that the Atlanta Falcons running game could have do. I mean, with Bijan Robinson, if you look at it, Bijan Robinson only had 37 yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? Now, Alligator, he came in, he had 51, but at the same time. Now, still the Washington secondary is still giving up too many passing yards because Drake London, he was targeted 12 times. He was targeted just as much as Terry was. Terry only had 81 yards. Drake London had 9 receptions for 125 because that's they go guy. Even Kyle Pitts, he had the touchdown. All the tight ends. They got more. Atlanta used a lot of tight ends. Pruitt, Smith, and Kyle Pitts, and Pitts and Smith had touchdown passes. We sacked Desmond Ritter 3 times. We picked him off 3 times. So that was a good balanced game for us. It was finally that we was able to create turnovers. Turnovers, interceptions helps us where Sam Howell don't have to do so much during the game. He's actually could manage the game a little bit and get in the scoring rank and put points on the board. When you're able to put points on the board for everything, it helps the defense go along. The defense was tired because it's not on the field. Then Atlanta wasn't able to do certain things that they ain't had to worry about doing. But I love it. I mean, like I said, KC2 here took advantage, of Montez Sweat not being there. And the thing about it is he was able to, Sweat did come back in, but KC2 here continued to have an impact. Like I say, he sacked them twice. He hit them 3 times, and his sacks came at critical times for the Commanders. So KC2 Hill, you might see him get more and more touches. He might gonna get more, not touches, but more and more snaps. He's probably gonna get more and more snaps in the game to help. I just love how the defense finally showed their mettle. They finally did the things that they need to do. Like I said, there's still some concerns, even though the Commanders, they held off Atlanta Falcons team. And like I said, they made plays when they need to because they was able to get interceptions to pick off Desmond Ritter, but the offense still continued to stall and not be able to move the ball. They just moved it enough. And at least they took the opportunities also to score points on the board. Washington could have easily had like 31 or 38 points in this game. Atlanta didn't really do too much anyway because if you look at the stat line, Washington took a 3-0 lead in the first quarter, and then Atlanta came down and scored 7. Then Washington scored 14 points in the second half to go up 17-10, which, and then they came back and scored a touchdown in the third quarter. They didn't score in the fourth. So Washington had opportunities, but they just didn't capitalize on when they need to. And right now, the Commanders are 3-3. Depends on what Dallas does. If Dallas go into Monday night's game and lose, then guess what? Washington will be able to be tied in second place with them, while the Eagles also lost today. So that helps a lot in the division because now you got a chance to make ground because you got the Giants, then you got the Eagles, then you got the Patriots next. So if you win the Giants game and somehow not get the Eagles, then guess what? You gain a game up on the Eagles again. And knowing that the Eagles probably lose another game sometime down the line. So you got to take advantage of these games. I think what I was told, because I had got a phone call during the day, that the Washington Commanders went back to that 4-2-5 defense. They ended up playing a 3-4 defense, which was a little bit better because you was able to use a lot more personnel, like the Percy Butlers, like the the Danny Johnsons and stuff like that. So you was able to use these guys in the game to where they was able to contribute the way they need to. Like I said, Danny Johnson played in the game. KC2 here, John Ridgeway came in and continued. And I like Ridgeway. I do love Ridgeway. And F.A. Barter came in the game, which Quan Martin came in the game. So Khalid Hudson played today. You know what I'm saying? He had 2 tackles. This is where a lot of us kept complaining about these guys need to play. If you're able to rotate guys and have them in the game, you won't have to rely so heavily on a Chase Young or Montez Sweat. Even though they the starting guys, but you got guys that could come in and rotate and make an impact. If you utilize these guys to their fullest, the defense could do a lot of great things, and they could help the offense. When the offense come on the field, guys know they roll. You know what I'm saying? So with all sense of purposes, the Washington Commanders needed this win. They couldn't go down Atlanta and lose because guess what? They have the Giants, which they go always. That's another division game. They're gonna always play tough with us. And if you go down 3-4, it's gonna be a long road to try to make the playoffs. So now you have a chance to flip it around, win next week, be 4-3. You could probably get another win against the Eagles. It's gonna be tough. Now the Eagles are already showing their vulnerability a little bit, because we should have won that game. Just imagine if we had won that game against them, we would have been, I think we would have been what, 4-1, 3-1 at that time? Because what we won, yeah, we would have been 4-1. I think we would have, we'd have been 3-1. We would have been 3-1, and then if we had won the Chicago game, that would have been 5. This game 6. We'd have been 6-1, and the Eagles would have been behind us. So opportunities is the key. It's early in the season, but this team still shows a lot of things that they need to do. They need to work on a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it just at this point in time for the Commanders is that we don't know which Commanders team gonna show up. They had a good showing today, a decent hard-fought game. They grinded out, but nevertheless, you're gonna have to put drives together. You're gonna have to run up and down the field, and the offense showed that. Can they build on this? Hopefully they can. You know, hopefully that the Commanders can build on this. You know, like I said, I was skeptical of this game because the way that they was playing. I was not going to get my hopes up. I had initially wanted to go to this game, but I was like, I'm not going to a Commanders game if they're going to continue to lose, you know, play senseless football. You don't need to do that. Just play the game, win, and then you'll be fine. So, but anyway, that's my recap of the Washington Commanders. I'm just going to give you a little bit today. You can tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. when I go over a recap with the Washington Commanders, the aftermath, talk in detail, and also look out for my column of the game, 4 observations to take away from this game from Rigo Rags. Tomorrow should be dropping sometime tomorrow, but nonetheless, that's my wrap-up report. And if you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and all that great stuff. This is your boy Livewire Sports Media, and hail to the Commanders. Great win, great hard fought, and I'm out. Peace.